Good day guys! Welcome to my very first video tutorial on how to code in PineScript. This video tutorial is a part of a series that will teach you from the basics up to advanced scripting. In this tutorial, I will teach you basic indicator and strategy indicator. And by the end of this video, hopefully, you can start making your own indicator and strategy. Let's get started. At the bottom of the page, open the Pine editor. Here, you can see some basic codes. The study and plot are called built-in functions. Okay, and then hover your mouse over them to see the details. As you can see in the syntax part, after the study, the words title, short title, overlay, etc. are the parameters you can use for the study function. Alright, so we'll dig this deeper later. The My Script is the title of this code. We can change this anytime. To further understand, just press Ctrl, then click on the function. The PineScript language reference manual will appear then. You can see in this manual different functions, variables, operators that we can use. Now let's start basic moving average coding. Let's first change the title to SMA script. Then we name our moving average MA1. In MA1, we put SMA close 10. The SMA is a built-in function of simple moving average. The close inside the parenthesis is the data source or data to be used for the SMA is a look-back length of SMA. Then we plot the SMA. Let's change the close to our MA. Then we set the color to green. Then click Add to Chart to apply it on our chart. Now we see the MA, however, it's not overlaid in our chart yet. To overlay the MA, we go to the study function. Remember that there are other parameters that we can modify in built-in functions. We put in overlay equals true. The default overlay condition is false. That's why our MA was not overlaid when we first plotted it. Now we close the first MA. Just click the MA, then press delete. Then add to chart again. There we go. Our MA is now overlaid on our chart. Let's add one more MA. This time we use EMA or exponential moving average. Let's set the length to 20. Then we plot it, color it to blue. Let's close the previous MA, then add to chart. We now have two MAs. Now, often people want to easily change the length of their MAs. To make it easily changeable, we add the built-in function input in the length of our MAs. Just type input, then encase the lengths in parentheses. Let's add a new code. Double-click the MA indicators and you can now see and change the MA lengths. Let's try changing MA1 to 5 and MA2 to 100. Now to 20. Now you can freely change the lengths as you like. In the Style tab, you can customize the style of your lines. You can change the line type, color, and width. That's about it in the basic SMA plotting. Let's move on in making it a strategy. First, let's change the study to strategy. And let's change the name to SMA strategy. Remember, study is for making indicators only, while strategy is for making strategy out of your indicators. To make a long entry, we use strategy.entry, then parameters are long, true, when equals to crossover MA1 and MA2. The long is the label of the signal. True means we want to go long. We use false if we want to short. In when, here we put our conditions to go long. We use the built-in function crossover, meaning if MA1 goes above MA2, we go long. Let's add a comment. Using two forward slashes, we can place comments or notes. These comments won't be read by PineScript and is used for noting purposes only. The true can be changed with the number 1, meaning we can use 1 instead of true to make a long entry. For our exit, we type strategy.close. Long when crossed under MA2, MA1. Remember to close a position, you should use the label of the entry position. In this case, we use long. Let's add it to the chart. There you go. We can now see the performance of our strategy. You can change the time frames and it will still use the same parameters. You can also change the look-back lengths to see the performance of different parameters. Let's go through the metrics. The net profit shows the overall gain of the strategy. The total closed trades is the number of trades. Percent profitable is the win rate of the strategy. The profit factor is the gross profit divided by gross loss. The higher the profit factor, the better the strategy is. Max drawdown is a maximum loss from a peak equity curve. Average trade is the average gain per trade. And the average number of bars in trades is the average number of bars or time your strategy is in a trade. For example, in this long entry, we can see that the trade closed after 36 bars or 6 days. Now, instead of long only, let's add shorts. Like the long, we type strategy.entry, then short for the title, then false for short entry. Then, when crossed under MA2 and MA1. Then, let's add a comment. Instead of false, we can use 0. Let's try 0. There it goes. Oops! The strategy goes long and the short at the same time. Looks like we had a mistake. Let me check the code. Oh shoot! I used crossed under MA2 and MA1, meaning when MA2 goes below MA1, this is basically the same as crossover MA1 and MA2. That's why it's going long and short on the same bar. Let's change it to cross under MA1 and MA2. Then, let's add it again to the chart. There we go. Wow, that equity curve looks nice. The equity curve is the blue graph in the overview below the chart. Looking at the chart, we can see that there's +2 in the long and -2 in the short. This is the amount of exposure we put in a trade, meaning +2 contracts for longs and -2 contracts every time we short. Let's change it. Double-click the MA in the Properties tab, order size to 100 and the contracts to % of equity. This means on every trade, we use 100% of our port. By the way, we can also make the order size and % of equity as default by going to the strategy function. Just add default quantity type as strategy.% of equity and default quantity value, then use 100. Let's now save our strategy. Just click Save, then put your script name. Now, Even if you delete the strategy, you can now open it by clicking Open, then click your strategy name. That's it for basic tutorial. I hope you learned the basics of Pine scripting. If you have any questions or if there's anything you want to learn and see on our next videos, leave a comment below. Also, please like and subscribe so that you get notified on our next videos. Take care!